All right, Jordan, how are you?
I am very good. How are you, Ben?
Good to see
Welcome
you
back
again.
to Ben Trading Cards.
It's been how many months that we've
Oh,
haven't done this?
it's been a while. People probably don't know we talk a lot on
Yeah.
Discord and back and
Oh
forth
yeah.
through YouTube comments and all that stuff. Yeah.
First of all, Jordan, I want to congratulate you with 600 subscribers.
Thank you. Yeah,
Woo!
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
That jumped up with all the Genesis stuff, funny enough, which I told Assad that and he was like really shocked. He's like, "Are you kidding me? Like that's the reason?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, that's the reason. It was
Wow.
Genesis, all Genesis. Yep."
Yeah. Next is 1K, you know?
Oh, dude, that would be fantastic.
And I
That
was
would be
so happy.
fantastic.
My post, I can post now on YouTube. It's probably because I'm over 500 and I can
Yeah.
post like a blog, something.
Which, well, yeah, they added
That's
that for, I think it was even, I think it was over 500. I think you're right. So now you can do that little comment, which is super nice.
yeah, and I can give updates, yeah, easily.
That's
Yeah.
the biggest thing I liked. I'm glad that they started doing that because, if you have a week where you're sick or you have a week where you're just not able to make a
Yeah.
video,
Hmm.
you can at least still like do something with the community and get some things out there. Because I don't have a Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I'm not into any of that stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like Discord and YouTube are the most social media thing I do.
Uh-huh.
So to be able to have somewhere to like post, a picture of cards or something cool going on, it
Yep.
really has helped like the community of people that subscribe stick together more and have a conversation. So
Hmm. Yeah, and you better have an Instagram and probably TikTok. Yeah, I have Instagram and TikTok pen trading cards.
yeah, I know it's one of those things where I maybe it's I don't know, I'm 38. I don't know how old you are, but it's more of like an age thing. Like it's just not something I feel like I need or want to get into. Like
Uh-huh.
yeah, I could probably spread my message farther if I had those, but
Yes.
at the same time, it's kind of like what message do I want to spread on those? So I keep it small for right now, but who knows? I mean, in the future, if something really were to take off, then yeah, I mean, the end
Yeah.
game would obviously be able to do something like this full time or
Mm.
work for a trading card company and be able to do something like this full
Yeah.
time, which would
Yeah.
be fantastic,
Can do that. Yeah,
yeah.
and then by the way, regarding the championship 2021, what happened? I was waiting for you there.
Oh, so championship 2021, I was invited to, well, two things happened, funny enough. I was invited to be a member there, and I was talking to Assad about,
Hmm.
hey, is it okay if I bring my wife and all this stuff? And he was like,
Yep.
yeah, that sounds great. Let's do it. So I have a passport, but it expired like years ago.
Oh
So I was like,
man.
oh, well, I was like, I can go. And I mean, when I talked about getting it renewed before, it was like you walk into the post office, you give them an updated picture, you fill out the form. Less
Uh-huh.
than a week later, you have all that information
Yep.
back. When I went to renew it now, they told me 4 to 5 months.
Oh man.
And Sid was like, I could go, like, I forget, he was like, I could go right now and it'd be like 3 or 4 days in Canada, you'd have it back. But in the US, everything's just a mess with that whole process, apparently. So
Hmm.
that was the first thing. Second thing is I'm glad I didn't end up going because the day before the championship, I actually had a breakthrough COVID case. So I
Oh
had
man.
COVID and my family didn't test for it, but they were all sick first. So I'm pretty sure that they had breakthrough cases. We probably got it from my son going back to school.
Hmm.
But I'm pretty sure that we all got it from that situation. But all better now, and it wasn't really that bad since we're vaccinated. It was
Oh,
like the
that's good.
flu.
That's good.
Yeah, but it was like I'm glad I didn't go because God, I would have been bringing COVID across borders and getting everyone sick. I'm like, no way, man.
Yeah, you're
So
gonna how you call it? Isolate for 14
oh
days
yeah,
here.
so I had to
Yeah.
quarantine. 2 days ago was
Quarantine, yeah.
the yeah 2 days ago was my last day of quarantine. I can go back to work on Monday now.
Okay,
But
that's good.
yeah, so but that was crazy. I mean, even
Man,
being vaccinated and still getting it, it can happen. So still be safe out there,
yeah.
But yeah, but I was so bummed out. So next year I told Sid, I think they have some plans, which I don't know how much I can talk about, but he's probably talked to you about it too. I think he has some plans to do some not really championships, but what's the word I'm looking for? Some tournaments in the US.
Small
So
tournaments.
some small tournaments
Mm-hmm.
throughout different cities in the
Yeah.
US he wants to do. So if that all comes to fruition and everything happens, I plan on being at those. And then definitely the Canadian Championship once I get my passport renewed
Yeah,
and
I
stuff.
think
But yeah,
he
I
mentioned
was
it to
bummed.
me. He mentioned
Oh,
it to
okay, yeah.
me. I don't know when, but probably during the championship. He said that he's gonna have like small tournaments on US, Canada, and Europe.
Which
So
is
it's gonna
awesome.
be
Yeah.
that will be a lot of busy trips with Assad,
Oh
man.
yeah, God.
And yeah, you missed Damian, man.
I know. I was so bummed out
Camilla.
about that. We were talking back and forth about that because I think I told you he's doing some artwork for me for a playmat and for the
Mm,
channel and it's going to be a Genesis promo card at Halloween that's going to be like a scheming skeleton card or whatever,
yeah.
but it's probably going to be an existing card that's already in the set that they just
Wow.
rename or something. Yeah, so anyways, we're doing that together, so we've been talking a lot back and forth. And yeah, I was so bummed out. I'm like, man, I really wanted to meet you in person, and we're gonna do a talk like you guys did one day here, where I have them on the channel and talk about art and stuff. So that should be
Yeah,
fun.
and I get a chance to see the artwork of Camilla because she brought her art, how do you call it, book?
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. Like
yeah,
I know what you're talking about, like the folder of all her artwork. I
yes,
can't think of what
yeah,
that's
I've
called either. Yeah,
seen I've seen it and
portfolio.
how, yeah, portfolio, yeah, and
Yeah,
how she does the drawing first, and she said she gonna take a photo of that and go to the digital, something
yeah.
like that. So man, and probably they are, I'm worried about their arms because they might have signed hundreds, hundreds. For me,
Oh
I
God.
I think I gave them, yan, 50 cards or 100 cards.
Wow. Yeah. Well,
And
he's such a good artist and he's such a good guy. Like, I mean, he would sit there and sign everything for you without a
oh,
problem, it
yeah,
seems like. So,
yeah, he's a good
uh,
guy.
is Camilla the artist that did like, I think it's like Sea Crate and a few other cards like that?
Delada Baboon.
Okay, yeah. So, I'm actually friends on Discord with her husband.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, so we were talking back and forth. He said, "Yeah, my wife does artwork for that game," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." So
Okay.
yeah, I heard that. I thought that was her. I recognized the name. So
Camila. And also Jeff Pasito, he
oh
was the
yeah,
one who drew the chibis promo
okay,
cards.
yeah, yeah, those are
Yeah, and
cool.
he gave me promo cards and he signed it. Wow,
That's
so
super
cool.
cool.
Yeah, and then I have a chance to meet Lionel, the designers, the card designers, JC, Will K, then Stevo is so busy.
Alex was there, obviously, right?
Alex, yeah,
Yeah,
Alex,
yeah.
and the judges, Shihanigans, um, the writer, Brad. I
Oh, nice.
Yep, I
Yeah,
meet him, and the jolly guy, Chris.
Chris. Yeah.
Chris, yeah, Chris is there, and also the YouTuber Shockwave,
Oh yeah,
Shockwave, yeah,
Shockwave. Yep,
Shockwave,
yep.
and Queen of Squirrels. You know Queen of
Okay,
Squirrels?
yeah,
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 yep. Sure do.
and
Yep.
of course Assad and lots of members of the team. Yeah,
Yeah, see, like I really want to plan a trip, even if it's before the championship. Once I get my passport stuff situated, I want to take a trip up to Canada because I'm not far away. I'm
yeah,
only
an hour,
uh
an
three and a
hour.
half
Oh
hours from
no,
Toronto, and if I go the Detroit way, I'm only an hour and
yeah.
20 minutes or something. So I'm not far away. But I would like to come up and see Assad and meet everyone. I would like to see you. It would be cool for me, you, and Assad to get together when I'm up there and do something fun, film
You know
something.
what? The best place to meet is in Tails, Heads and Tails with Stevo,
Oh yeah,
LGS.
that would be fantastic because that was the
It's
other
in
place I want
between
to
of
go.
us. You know,
Yeah,
you're from here, and then I'm from the west, and then east, and then we meet there. And
yeah.
yeah, that's a good one. And we can play there
If
and
I had a
meet.
pilot license, I could be there in like 15 minutes. I could just fly right over the lake because
Oh,
literally
yeah,
Lake Erie is like 5 minutes out my door that way. Not even 5 minutes. I can
yeah,
see the
yeah,
lake if I'm on my roof. So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just nearby. So
Hmm.
we played a lot. Each I think it's if every game you can play 3 times. Good. What's it call it? Four. How is that? Best of four, something.
Oh yeah.
Best
Okay.
of
Yeah.
three,
Yeah.
something like that. But the time is so close. But yeah, we had a chance to play two of each game, and then I was burned 4 times. I have 0 wins.
Hey,
And
at
then
least you're playing, dude. That's the fun part.
yeah, yeah. And you gotta, you once you play it, you're gonna learn
Sure.
more, more movements, and you will see the opponent. Like me, I have an opponent that gives shows river of knee, and he attacks, and then he retracts it, put it in the river of knee, and it heals. You know,
Which is insane. And that's the
man,
thing
I
I
said,
don't think a lot of
why
people
didn't I
get.
think of that?
It's like that's the thing. Like a lot of people, this will come as a surprise to a lot of people. Like I've only played Genesis kitchen table, like messing around with the cards and showing my wife and like us trying to figure out the game type thing.
Hmm.
But other than that, like I haven't played in a competitive setting or like in an LGS or anything. So a lot of what I know about the game or have learned about the game, and when I like the deck tech I made and stuff, was from watching other people play and was trying to figure out the game. But I really want to sit down and play with some people who know the game and learn it, because things like that, like you're saying, people don't realize how much the board state is important to the game. Like the fact that you can have like cards that represent a physical wall on the game, or on the game board to
Yeah.
stop your characters from being able to do things. And the fact that there's, the grid based combat where your character can only attack in a certain place on the grid. There's so much strategy to that's like what really interested my wife in wanting to play. Was she loves like strategy games.
Yeah.
So it's like, it reminds me, I've told people before, it reminds me of like Fire Emblem, if you've ever played that game, or people who, I mean, it's a popular Nintendo game a lot of people probably know about, but it reminds me of like Final Fantasy Tactics or Fire
Hmm.
Emblem or something like that. But the fact that, like you're saying, you can, take one of your characters and bring it back to that river and need to heal it. It's like, it's awesome,
Yeah.
people coming up with stuff
Man,
like
I was
that.
surprised. It is I saw two river of knees, and you just move here, and
Yeah.
heals twice, you know?
Yeah.
And
Well, like I think one thing too we should make clear in this talk here, since we're talking about the Kickstarter, is
yep.
Genesis. A lot of people look at TCGs with the history of TCGs in general, and with the current like jump of all these Kickstarter TCGs. Everything like has its own place. Like if you can
Right.
afford it, you can play multiple card games. Don't be afraid to try
Yeah, of
multiple card games. If you're in it just for the money, you can do that too. There's a lot of people that just
course.
invest and collect. But one thing to remember is, if you're like the majority of people out there who like to collect, invest, and play, Genesis is a game that has legs. Like Genesis is a game that will stand the test of time, regardless of if it becomes this worldwide phenomenon. And the thing you got to remember is they're not going after directly Flesh and Blood and Magic.
Yeah.
They like Assad loves all the card games that exist and wants you to play what you think is fun. And I think what makes Genesis special is it really has the gameplay to stand on. And like I like MetaZoo, but I haven't played it yet. The gameplay of that doesn't appeal to me, but I like the cards. I like to
Hmm.
collect them. So it Genesis is not going to be that type of game. When you open up the packs, you're going to immediately want to play. Like you're gonna look at the cards, you're gonna see how things work, and you're gonna say, like, this is a game that I really need to try out. I'm not just gonna put them in a binder and collect all of them. You're going to want to play it. So I think the biggest complaint I've heard from people on Discord and other places about Genesis is, well, I've never heard of it before. So,
Hmm.
well, it's like, well, you never heard of Nostalgics until the Kickstarter came out.
Yeah.
You never heard of Grand Archive. You never
Correct.
heard of MetaZoo, like until people started talking about it. So this is Genesis. This is their big moment to shine, in my opinion. And I think people are really focusing on the gameplay part more than the collectability investment part. And I really like that, because I think you can still invest and collect long term in the foils, the extended arts, all those cool things, sealed product if you want, but it's going to come down to the gameplay. And once people play the game, they're going to do what I did and open beta boxes and open
Yeah.
everything. They're not going to want to keep it sealed. Like at least that's how I feel about it. I think
Hmm.
people just need to give it its time in the spotlight, not just think this is like some Kickstarter grab for money, because Assad specifically said they spent all of their money, all of his money, making the game what it is today without relying on investors or trying to take your money. And the
Yep.
Kickstarter is specifically existing to grow the game to what you want it to be with your money, which I love. I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely love that.
And the good thing about this game is when you buy a starter kit, there are two decks, right? And then you get
Yep.
to play with that. You can try it, and if you don't know the rules, if you don't want to read it, you go to the Discord and you can go to the community, and the
Yep.
community has ask a judge, you know, and
Yep.
what and these judges are so fast, man. They reply so fast, like Alex Shahanigans. What's the other judge? Will K. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
so
Yep. Yep.
helpful. This community is so helpful, and you gonna ask anything, you know, like if you don't know a word on there, they're gonna explain that to you.
Well, and
And
I think it's because they really are passionate and they love the game. And
yes,
it's not the other thing too that I haven't seen, and this changes with all TCGs over time. Once it gets popular, it changes. But like one thing is, I remember Flesh and Blood when when I started playing in Crucible of War,
mm-hmm,
the environment was a lot. I would say, at least in my LGS and the experiences I've had, um, the environment was a lot more inviting than it was now, and that's because of the type of game it is. Because Flesh and Blood's real competitive. I've noticed the casual side change to the very hyper competitive side and people that are very opinionated. And a lot of that was when other people from other TCGs started flooding in. Now, I think Genesis will have that moment too where people are like that. But the difference is Genesis is a lot more welcoming to play than Flesh and Blood at first, I think, because it's more since it's more strategy based, in my personal opinion, it's a little more easy to understand how things work. Like you have this grid, like there really isn't a lot that can change. You have this grid, you do this
mm-hmm,
thing, cards can do this, cards can do that. Flesh and Blood is like very competitive and advanced to the point of um, right in the beginning, there's a lot of information up front to like absorb to understand how to play the game. Genesis is like a slow roll. Like you can start
yes,
playing right away and learn all the intricacies as you go. Flesh and Blood's like if you don't know it right away, if you don't understand it right away, you're not going to be competitive. So the casual play of Genesis is what really has drawn me to it more lately than Flesh and Blood. And like I said, that doesn't mean I still don't love Flesh and Blood and want to play Flesh and Blood, but I just think when people are looking at TCGs in general and all the new TCGs that
mm-hmm,
come out, you have to figure out what's right for you. And I know right now, competitive Flesh and Blood is not for me. Competitive Genesis is something that I could see playing long term, like
mm-hmm,
I said, because it's that slow roll of learning things. And like you said with the judges, they're they're so welcoming, and everyone in the
yeah,
community right now is so welcoming that they will gladly share their tricks with you. Like, why
mm-hmm,
didn't you like the River and Ethan? You said, why didn't I think of that?
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
but now that you know it, you've seen it, and it really
yes,
opens up that pathway more.
correct,
I feel like in a lot of instances that I personally had with Flesh and Blood was a lot of people like, yeah, you don't know how that card plays. You need to get better and figure out how it plays.
mm-hmm,
There's not a lot of people that are willing, at least in my experience, a lot of the players weren't willing to help me or give me that time to try to figure out how that card works. Even at like pre-release for Tales of Aria, I ran into situations like that where people literally, I'm in the middle of playing with someone who it was like their second game they've ever played,
mm-hmm,
and we were running short on time, and I had someone come up to me and like point at their watch and go, "Hey, everyone's ready to go. You guys have been playing, 5 minutes over right now. This is ridiculous. Like you need to hurry it up." Me and the other kid playing, that
oh
just sucked the fun right out of it.
man,
Like, and
okay,
that's the competitive side that I don't enjoy. I don't enjoy that. When I go, I want to figure the game out, especially if it's like a pre-release.
yeah,
Everyone's figuring out the cards. You're
of
trying to figure
course,
out how the game works. Yeah. And I like the Genesis community. I've never felt like that um, before. Like I've felt like when I've talked to people, if I had a question about, what's this competitive deck you guys are doing, or do you mind telling me how this works because I don't understand it? They're like real quick to, like you
mm-hmm,
said, respond
yep.
and jump on and say, oh yeah, let me show you how this works. Like whatever, there's no secrets here. There you go.
There's one tournament that I played with Darren, and if I've posted it, and I really don't have any clue. I went there just to have fun, and
Sure.
Darren, my opponent is teaching me, how to move this and that. You know
See,
that. You know
that's
the
the thing.
environment. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what, when I went to Monarch pre-release, and this is no dig on the LGS that I go to. This is
Hmm.
more of a dig on the type of people that started showing up as the game became popular. So it's not the LGS, it's just the community in Flesh and Blood has changed a lot in a short period of time. When I went to Monarch pre-release, we were all learning the game together, teaching each other the game. It was
Hmm.
the most fun I've ever had. When I went to Tales of Aria, completely felt the opposite way, completely felt the opposite. Felt like everything was being rushed, felt like no
Hmm.
one had time to show you or help you. And just because I make YouTube videos and deck techs doesn't mean I'm like the best Flesh and
Of
Blood
course.
player. Like,
Yeah.
I'm terrible competitively. I've always been a casual person. So it kind of threw me for a loop, and it kind of turned me off to future pre-release events with Flesh and Blood because of
Hmm.
that competitiveness. And like James White said, this isn't a dig on him or LSS, but um, they said maybe the game's not for you. And the competitive part isn't for me. And that's fine. Like, I'm okay with
Correct.
that. I'm okay understanding that. I have always been kitchen table player with
Yep.
family and friends. I've always been the guy that shows up to the LGS and just like gets a game or two in. Like, I'm perfectly fine with that, but I think that's a hard pill to swallow for some people. Whereas I feel Genesis is very welcoming to all of the players, be
Yeah.
it the most casual, be it the most competitive. There is a place for you here.
Yeah, so if you're in a trading card game, you get to try all the games, you know.
Yeah,
Once you try them, look for the things that you enjoy, right?
yeah,
Don't go bashing other TCGs that this one is not a good game. Well, it's not for you,
correct.
but
Yeah,
it's for other people. So
yep,
if you want like a competitive game like Flesh and Blood, and if you want like a long game a long time game, like a long game that you have to move your cards on the grid, well, you go to Genesis and you got to try that, because if
yep.
you just watch it, it's like, you won't enjoy it. You know,
Well,
try
and
it.
that's the thing. People looking at it, Ben. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Mhm,
People
no problem.
looking at it see that and the grid and all that stuff, and I think it gets them, scared to play. But I think you're right. You got to just try it.
No, because they just don't know how to play with it. Because
Yep.
once you know, you gotta think of many techniques, many ways. And the good thing about Genesis is you have a lot of variables.
Yeah.
The cards in your hand, the decks, and you gotta, you have to mill some of your decks to play the card,
Yeah.
and you gotta, remove auras from the champion to play your card. And then once you put it on the table, on the grids, you gotta have another variable to move where to place it.
Yep.
And I played with my son with a Zanbird Dragon, and Zanbird Dragon is there are six grids ahead of is a very
Oh
far-sighted,
yeah. Yep.
so I don't know how to move my summons. So just things like that. There's a lot
See,
of variables. And some games you can just put there, compare cards, and then you're done, right? But
yeah.
this one is different. You gotta
And
move.
that's great. That's great design too. That I like the idea of, like I said, with how it's like Final Fantasy Tactics or Fire Emblem. I like the idea that that dragon is a big creature that can fly. So he can see and
Yes.
touch a wide area on the board. Some of the heroes, like the one I spoiled, Satir,
Uh-huh.
I hope I'm saying the name correctly. Like, it's a spot directly in front of you because she's got a spear. How does a spear usually work? You're directed straight ahead of you,
Yeah,
lancing something.
correct.
So like, I like that design of, the monsters and the champions have certain areas based on the kind of creature they are. They can attack in those directions, and that's
Yeah.
that's really like out of the box thinking. And I know um, there was a game that the History Channel made, Anachronism, I think it was
Mm-hmm.
called, and that's what Assad said was like that was like the brainchild of Genesis. Like, he
Mm-hmm.
played that game, and that was where he got like the grid
The
system. If you
inspiration.
look at inspiration. If you look at the anachronism card, it's literally the same board at the top. It's like it's a Genesis. It's the same design as
Mm-hmm.
Genesis. So he took that and turned it into his own game. He took that one little grid idea and said,
Yeah.
"Hey, I can do this, better than what they did." And I love that idea. I love that idea of taking, like MetaZoo took a lot of things from Magic and Pokemon.
Correct.
I don't play it, so I don't know if they made it better or if it's the same or what, but
Hmm.
I like taking ideas from other card games and trying to make it your own, because with card games, you're gonna always fall in this pitfall of, since there's so many out, someone's done it before you.
Yep.
What you got to try to do is make it your own, or try to make something
Better.
special out of that. Yeah,
Make it better.
something special out of that existing system. And if you can do that, then you end up with this game like Genesis that's very, hero is a flesh and blood word, but this champion or hero centric type of game, like
Hmm.
what Commander is in Magic now. Magic is mostly Commander, and it's very character based. You have your one character that's leading the charge of the whole deck. And Planeswalkers are like that. You got the Planeswalker,
Hmm.
that's the main person you're trying to get out to really end your game or whatever you're trying to do. I like that hero focused gameplay. And
Yeah.
I think Genesis does that incredibly well, with the fact that you have, like, you think of your champion as the general who's leading all of these other little peons into battle.
Yeah, and then there will be 12 new champions in the next Origins. And
Yeah.
Assad gave me two emotions, excited and worried. Because before the Kickstarter, he said, okay, we're gonna launch December 1. All right. And then Patreon news from Assad gave send us, he said that they're gonna doing something with Damian and the Sleepless Nights, and I said, oh no, I'm not sure if this is gonna be released on December 1. And
Sure.
on I think that was November 30th,
Yeah.
and he said we haven't been approved by
Oh,
Kickstarter
I
yet.
know. I panicked because I had
Oh
like two
man.
videos
Uh,
ready to roll. I'm
yeah,
like, no,
I
come
said, I
on.
said, I want to record now because maybe Jordan will be the first one. I want to be the first one. But he said, oh no, we don't have approval. And after that, man, December 1, it's okay. This is what happened December 1 at 9. Okay, we have a Discord, a party with Alex and Damian
Yeah.
and other groups, and Damian had,
Drawn the new
you made a
champion.
video of
Yeah.
that, right?
Yep. Yep.
And after that, at 10, I was pressing my F5, okay, refresh button, so that the Kickstarter will, refresh, and I have to be the
Yep.
first. I thought I was the first. So if you count it, it's about, I press the F5, and then about, I think I scroll down to the content creator page and click on that and buy and something. I thought that
Yes.
I will be like top 5 under top 10, Man, I was in the 32nd. In
That's the
just
thing
few
that's
minutes,
crazy.
just seconds.
Seconds. Because I did the same
OMG.
thing. I hit F5, reset and everything. Content creator, just like you said, went down, clicked the button. I had my credit card already saved and everything. Like, I was
Mm,
ready to roll.
yeah.
Click the button to pay, or to set it up to pledge. It did its thing. Came back, said I was 51.
What? I was faster
I'm
than
like,
you.
yeah, you were even faster than me. I'm like literally same as you. I maybe because you're in Canada, it was quicker to grab it. So I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe, but who knows where the
I don't know where
Kickstarter
where
main
this
server is?
31 people came from.
I don't
They're
know.
fast.
Out of nowhere, man. But yeah, I was 51, and I'm like, seriously? Are you kidding me?
I think maybe they have a bot.
Well, that, I mean, there's a lot of people that do have that for like the PlayStations and everything else
Uh-huh.
right now. So God only knows. But yeah, that was so fast. And I think, like, I talked to Sid about the Kickstarter before, and I'm sure you did too. And one of the things we talked about was, I said, um, he was like, yeah, I think I'm going to put $15,000 as what we need to hit to make this
Hmm.
happen. And I said, honestly, I said, you can do that, but you could put 100,000 in there and you'll hit it. And he's like, yeah, I just don't want to be that, Sid. He's like
Yeah,
so
conservative
humble, and
type.
he's like, I don't want to, have that much money and blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, it's your business. You do whatever you feel is best. But I said I would have a higher number so people take it more seriously. Well,
Hmm.
we sure as hell didn't need to worry about that, did we? Because that 15,000 was crushed in
Yeah,
like a second. I
he
mean,
thought
so.
he thought that 15,000 is not reachable. You know,
Yeah,
I
I
was
know.
really quite confident that 250K is easy. You
I
know,
thought so
given with
too.
the previous Kickstarters, you know,
Yep.
I've backed Polywog, Nostalgics, Soulforge. It's 15,000 is just like a penny.
Yeah, that's
That's
nothing. That's a
easy.
drop in the hat compared to what
And
most of them
Assad said
grab.
he was not expecting that, you know, that
I
man.
know. Well, I think one thing too is he didn't realize, like, and I'm gonna use the word push here, but I don't want people to think I'm saying push as in
Hmm.
like,
Yeah.
oh, I was pushing the game because I'm being paid or rewarded to push the game.
Hmm.
I've been pushing the game very hard to a lot of people because of how well I know the
Yes.
game plays and because of how fun the game is and because I like the artwork and I believe in it. And I don't think he realized how much the work you've done, I've done, content creators in general who are covering Genesis. I don't
Yes.
think he understood how much the work we've done has been accepted by the community and how many people are actually watching it,
Correct.
contacting us. I don't know about you, but I get at least a question a day from someone on Discord or YouTube asking for more information about Genesis, and that has jumped since the Kickstarter. But I don't think he realized how well known the game is becoming in the small community.
And it's probably because he doesn't see the analytics of our
Yep,
YouTube
correct.
channels. And what he
Yep.
sees is his analytics. And you can see GenesisBOC YouTube channel is the view count is small, you know.
Oh
But
yeah.
if you go to my channel, man, it's high. And I think
Yep.
it's also true for you, right?
It is for sure. Like in the most of the flesh and blood videos I've been doing lately have been getting, I don't know, maybe a little over 100 views.
Hmm.
And I put just as much time in one video as another. Like I don't, it's not like I do really crappy Genesis videos and nice flesh and blood videos. Like
Yep.
I put my time into everything. So, but my Genesis stuff has been getting, I think it jumped from like 50 views to like 400 views on a lot of the videos. So
Wow.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's really like the deck tech, the Adiris deck tech one I did jumped up out of nowhere. It had like 25 views and it's at like 400 now. So some of them just, I mean, that YouTube algorithm's so weird too because
Yeah.
I had on my old channel, I don't have it anymore. I got rid of it when I wanted to use the Scheming Skeleton name for this
Hmm.
channel. But it was all video game stuff, and I had a few videos on there that were like 6,000 views. But I specifically had one video from the game Demon Souls for PS5 that
Hmm.
had like 95,000 views. Is the most views I've ever had on a video. I remade that video and put it on this channel, and it's like my number 2 video on this channel just because of what it is, because it's something people wanted to see. So that kind of shocked me. Out of all the TCG stuff I have, the one video game thing I have, everyone flocked to that. But
Uh-huh.
the reason I mentioned that is because out of my top 3, it's like 2 Flesh and Blood ones, a Demon Souls one, and then the fourth one is a Genesis one. So the Genesis one has like massively jumped up to meet the other ones, which really surprised me, that people are that into it. So
Yeah. And I think on my analytics, Genesis has always 100% likes. I don't
yeah.
have
Oh
any
yeah.
dislikes. I don't know why. Probably it's just I don't know. But other TCGs I have, 80% likes.
Yeah.
That's 50%. And Genesis always 100%.
Yeah.
It's probably maybe if that's what they said, if you're not yet you know that's popular, no one will
Sure.
hate you, no one will bash you. But I don't know, there's a lot,
Well, I
there's
have
a
one troll. I have one person that just goes through, and it's probably because I made a smart ass comment to someone one day.
ah
I have
yeah.
one troll that goes through and dislikes everything I do. And I made the comment one day of saying to someone, I said, yeah, dislikes mean a lot in YouTube, and people don't like. They took the dislikes away though.
Oh, yeah,
Apparently,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. But anyways, like dislikes were worth more than likes, and a lot of people didn't realize that as far as the algorithm goes. So if someone dislikes it, it counted more towards the algorithm. So
Hmm.
I made the joke one day of telling someone, I was like, yeah, just dislike every time my videos go live. So some smartass decided to just do it, like I said, every
Always.
time. But that person must have not been here for a while, because
Uh-huh.
right now I'm looking at my analytics. I have past 3 Genesis videos I did, all 100%, no
See?
dislikes,
Yeah.
between
Same as me.
75 and 200 views. So, yep.
Yeah.
Actually, the past 4, wow, actually, the past 6 Genesis videos I did, all 100%, and all almost over 100 views, almost all of them. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy, man. I mean, people are really picking it up.
And I did not expect that there are a lot of people will back Genesis with, now it's around how much? Now
Oh
it's
gosh, I would like to see that
let me
actually. Let
see.
me, yeah, if you get it
It's
before me.
yeah, because it's I thought that it's just like because the Discord members like 300,
Yeah.
then now it's 545, man.
Oh my gosh.
545. And
Yeah.
now it's 238 US dollars.
Yeah, 300. I just 306,909 Canadian. And I know like Assad's just like shocked by that number, but like I think that's what I expected it to be at. What really shocked me though is the amount of people who have left comments on my community posts
Mm-hmm.
and on some of my videos saying, um, I bought it because I want to try the game. A lot of people weren't buying it just because, oh, I want to keep my stuff sealed, or
Mm-hmm.
because it's Kickstarter. That's been like 10% of the people I've heard from that have said that. I had one person literally message me and say, yeah, the only reason I bought into it is because I know there's money to be made. I'm like, well, that's cool. If that's for you, that's
Mm-hmm.
perfectly fine. But
Yeah.
I said, get a 2-player kit. They're like under $20. You can get a 2-player kit and just try it. Just try it and see, like at least do that. If you're going to spend this much money on a case, you can spend $15 to $20, get a 2-player kit and try the game out for the hell of it. But it is shocking, man, seeing that number. I'm
And
loving it.
then there's a conversation last time that with Assad, Alex, I guess. Oh yeah, the Damian, and they do the live video
Yeah,
before the Kickstarter, and they said they're gonna see if they can, do reach their stretch goals of 250K. And then
yeah,
I commented there, it's easy,
it's easy.
it's
It's
easy.
gonna be
And
there.
you
Yeah,
see, all stretch goals were funded, man.
yep.
Were reached 24 hours within
I
24
can't wait
hours.
to see what other, because I know he's looking at like more stretch goals. If they reach certain dollar amounts, because he has so many days left to go still. I can't wait to see what they do. And the thing that you mentioned that was really important is 545 backers for 306,000 Canadian dollars, almost
Mm,
307 now. Um, that's a really low amount of backers for that amount of money. That is a ton of money for 545 backers. That means the majority of people are doing like cases. And I
yep.
just love that. I love that the majority of people were putting their faith in the fact that, oh, yeah, we know this is going to come to fruition. Like, this isn't even like, oh, I want to start this new TCG. This is like, no, this is going to be the official release of Genesis as a TCG.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way Assad's looking at this.
Because the expansion itself, Origins, you can play just for that expansion, is because it's
Yep.
12. That's already 12 champions, and you can just
Yep.
play with that. But if you want the older set, yeah, you can also merge it, right?
Yeah.
And the good thing here is there's a new phage
Yeah.
phage
So cool.
affiliation, right?
The new affiliation. Yep.
And I calculated it's 2034% funded.
That's insane. Well, and you're mentioning the affiliation. I was just going to make I make a lot of comparisons between Genesis and Fab for good reason. So Flesh and Blood, Welcome to Wraith, Arcane Rising, Crucible of War, you can think of those as like the first 3 sets that were dipping their toes in the water to see how popular the game would be and to grow
Mm-hmm.
the game. They were more simplistic, more easy to understand. There were no talents. There were no like elements added or any of that stuff that we see now. Think of Origins as Monarch. Monarch added the talent system,
Yep.
So we're
Yep.
introduced to light and dark talents.
Correct.
Origins is adding phage. So we're seeing, like I remember James White said, Monarch was the first set that they designed, and that was like the idea for the game was around Monarch. So think of Monarch as the culmination of all things flesh and blood.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tales of Aria was the next step of that. We look at Genesis, everything up to Origins was that first step of creating the game. Now Origins is, they're releasing the Phage affiliation, opens the board up. This is the more complete version of the game. So
Yeah.
people who have asked me, I'm so confused as to all the sets before Origins. Don't worry about them. You can start at Origins on.
Correct.
If you want to get some of the old cards, you can still play those old cards.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing people are shocked about, Ben, and I don't think any of the content creators, me and you included, have done a good job of explaining to people that you can have as many cards as you want in the Genesis deck. Do you get that question a lot? Like, I don't know, maybe I've missed videos where you've mentioned that, but I know I have failed at mentioning that a lot because a lot of
Me
people
too.
reach out to me and say, I didn't realize you could have like 10 of this card.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why have I never stressed that point to anyone? Like,
Yeah. Or 5 Sunbird dragons.
yeah, right? 5 crazy powerful dragons. Like, I don't think a lot of people realize that you can have, like, you could make a whole deck that's just all Lion Mane Rabbit. You could have all Lion Mane. Now, is it going to work well? No, but I mean,
We
you
gotta
could do it.
experiment that, you gotta
Yeah,
try
that's the
that.
thing.
All
I told
rabbits.
I told Steve-O that, and I think he thought I was being serious when I said that one day. I was like, I'm going to make a deck of all Lion Mane Rabbits. He's like, that's not going to work. I'm like, yeah, but you can do it, and that's what I
Yeah.
don't think a lot of people realize is you can use as many cards as you like in the deck. You have the one champion, but everything else is
Yeah.
whatever you want it to be.
You know
So
what? There's a new champion which is Kirin, and
yeah,
this mimics or gets the abilities of another card. So
super cool.
it may be the rabbit idea will gonna
Yep,
work because you
it,
can just
it might.
get all the abilities of others, with your
Yep,
champion, and then you have some rabbits there.
attack them with Lion Mane Rabbits.
Man,
Oh, I
that's
can't wait.
yeah. And there are 4 new mechanics.
Yep.
The one I like is like what is that? A replicate. When
Oh
you
yeah,
when you put a card, bacteriophage, then you can get from the sideboard, or what do you call it? Subconscious, right? Sideboard.
yeah, subconscious. Yep.
Yeah, you can. It's like duplication. And I see like in the MTG that there's an insect. I forgot that one. It replicates.
Sure.
You know that, right? It
Yeah, there
replicates
was
one. I
I
forgot
know
the
what you're
name of
talking
that.
about. It was a green card.
Yeah, yeah, insect. It's an insect.
Well, yeah, it was an insect, so it was usually
Anyway,
either a green or black. I'm pretty sure it was a green card, and it was like, is that the one that has to do with like landfall? Land comes
yes,
into play and it
yes.
replicates.
Every
Yeah, if I
landfall,
remember
you
correctly.
can put an insect there, and it's
Yeah,
gonna. And I've played that in the arena. It's gonna multiply a lot, like
oh yeah,
thousands, man.
for sure. And there's
So,
some of the cards that are being developed in the Future League playtesting Discord that anyone can join.
mhm.
There's a few cards that do replication like that too. And there's specifically there was I can't think of the name of it, whatever the test name was for it, but it was one of the ones I played around with, and it had to do with things replicating, and I was like, oh my god, this is going to be extremely powerful. They need to change this. And I remember it was one of the cards in playtesting that I messaged. And I was like, yeah, I think this is going to be a little too overpowered.
Yeah,
So, but that's
and
what's fun is seeing the cards before they're actually created and being able to
correct.
have a part in developing or designing.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about that pitching of the cards in a
Yeah,
while. And the next mechanic is the warp strike, which you will move on a spot adjacent to you, and everything that was beside you will be damaged.
yeah.
It's um like a stomp or something.
Yeah, it reminds me of that's one of the ideas I want to pitch is it reminds me of a dragoon from Final Fantasy, where a
Uh-huh.
dragoon will jump, disappear, and then come back down on a group of enemies and
That's
damage them
it.
all. Yeah,
That's it.
that's what it reminds me of.
And the next one is fatigue, and this one will mill cards from your deck,
Yeah.
from your timeline, you know. and this will attack. I think it's like attacking your deck, you know,
Yeah.
until you go to zero decks, and then
Yeah.
you lose.
Then you're done. Yeah.
Wow, this one is great. And modify stack, which is once you have, because in Genesis, once you attack and then there's a response, and you will create a stack, right?
Yeah.
And if this card with a modify stack, once you put it on that number, the fifth, for example, it has five stack on it. Once you put it on the fifth, you will not get damage at all.
Yeah.
So it's like making all the stack void.
Which is awesome.
See?
Yeah.
It's like I
Yep.
remembered Prism like this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Prism is a very strong card, but if you put like the number six, six and above power, it's
Then you
gonna,
can block everything she does. Yep.
yeah, it disappears.
Null and
Something
void.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
The other the other
yeah,
champions,
go ahead.
Ben. I know Mano, Kasha, Tashir, Curran, Satir. I think his name's Kale or something. I don't
Kato.
remember.
Kato.
Yeah. And then there's still four more champions. Wait, actually six more champions that I don't think have been spoiled yet. Do you know who's spoiling those?
I
Do
don't
you
know.
have any?
I
Okay.
don't know.
I did. Yeah, because I haven't seen anyone else spoil any champions yet. So I was curious as to when we're going to see those. That's something we'll have to ask Sid about because um, I think after the Kickstarter here, we should all get together and try to talk about spoiling things for the next
Correct.
set, so we can
Yes,
kind of set
cards.
things up as like how Flesh and Blood does it, where we have a
Yes.
spoiler season more than just kind of like, hey, we'll give you these few cards to show because
Hmm.
like there's so many of those right now. I'm looking at that page and seeing the champions, and I'm like, what do they do? I want to see what they do, and I can't.
I like that spoiler season, It
Me
it
too. It's
makes
so
you
much fun.
excited. Man,
Yep.
if during the spoiler season, I'm working, I'm traveling, I have to stop because
Oh yeah.
once someone is doing a spoiler, I have to stop, create a video, something like that, and
Yep.
post it.
Yep.
Man,
It's so much fun though doing
yeah,
that. Yeah.
it's fun for creators as well, and
Yeah, for
of
sure.
course for players. You gotta know what's the cards will be the next
Yep.
set.
Start
And
planning ahead. Yeah.
yeah, and did you get the early bird, right? I'm sure
Yeah.
you
Oh
get
yeah.
the early bird. You're the
Yep.
50. What's the number? 50 fifth.
Oh,
Five.
for
The
the custom
backer
promo
number.
cards you're
No,
talking about?
backer number.
Oh, I was 51.
Okay, so you get the early bird, right? So,
Yeah.
and we have Jeff Pasito. Jeff Pasito,
Yeah.
and he said we're gonna have a race, Ben. whoever whoever gets um the first um backing, we're gonna win something. So he
Yeah.
said he gonna draw me a chibi.
That's awesome. So it was like the first 10 people that signed up are going to get something special, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. They
I
just
think Sid
announced
said
it on the Kickstarter party.
okay, cool. Yeah.
I don't know what you're gonna get. Probably a
Yeah.
promo card, a face of of Alex,
Or
a
Chris.
selfie, or
Chris
Cruz.
card.
Yeah, yeah. And the price of the box is really reasonable.
Oh yeah,
And
especially like people were seeing that this was in CA, in Canadian versus
yeah,
USD, and they're like, "Holy crap!" That price is so good.
how much is that in US? It's a
So
hundred
it's
US dollars.
yeah, it was
Canadian.
$470 for me to get the
77.
470 USD to get the content creator package.
Yeah, and it's
Yep.
77 with a box topper.
Yeah.
See? Man,
Yeah.
that is,
Plus, you get, I mean, being the content creator one, we get the 50 exclusive promos that we get to, work on, which is going to be fantastic. I already
yeah.
said, like, I'll set 40 of them as well. I said 40, but it'll probably be like 39 because I'm going to keep one for myself, obviously. But I'm going to set like 39 of them aside for patrons, my
Of
patrons.
course. Yes.
And then I'm going to have the other 10 available for
Raffle.
people who are subscribed or viewers, so that
Yeah.
I can give some out to everyone else. So that'll be a fun thing to do for
You know
sure.
what? This is really a genius idea because I have the Flesh and Blood promo cards, right? And
Yeah.
I like it because it's exclusive for content creators.
Yep.
And now Genesis, you get to have a chance to put your logo on the card.
So cool.
Man, that is,
Yep.
I'm so excited with that.
And it
And
makes
I'm,
me,
yeah,
oh, go ahead.
go ahead. Yeah, I'm so excited with that because, and I hope we can have like an alt art there. I hope.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, that would be so cool.
me doing this
Yeah,
face,
doing
something,
something.
and whatever meme that you want there,
Yeah.
and it's just for fun,
Well, that's the
I love that.
thing. Like, I think that's what, we can't mention custom card stuff without talking about Rudy. So I think that's what bothered a lot of people with Alpha Investments and with Rudy was he had these Flesh and Blood cards or MetaZoo cards that are
Hmm.
specifically tailored to him, and then he puts them in a bundle that he sells.
Hmm.
Um, I don't want to sell any exclusive card with my channel to anyone. I want to give
Hmm.
it to them for free as a reward. Like
Yep.
like that stuff should be rewards for your viewers, rewards for your patron. And maybe, you can say, "Oh, but there's money to be made." Well, great, but I want to give someone something for free for showing their support, for
Yeah.
supporting me in whatever way they chose to. Be it you're just a viewer, you should get rewarded for that, even if you're not a
Correct.
subscriber. Like you don't have to be subscribed to my channel. If you've watched my videos and you enjoy it, sure. But I want to be able to reward someone with some custom cool thing that they like, not
Yeah.
just not sell it to them,
And the good thing here, it's playable. You
That's
know?
the thing too. With the Rudy promos, yeah, it's not
No,
playable
for
stuff.
us,
This is playable.
for us,
Yeah.
50 cards are playable now,
Yes.
guys.
Yes, which is awesome. I mean, that's the big thing. You got to have I really like I opened last night just to go a little bit off topic here. I opened last night My Hero Academia card game. I got a two-player starter kit and I got a box of cards. That's like it's like an anime card game. Jasco makes it. It's part of this universes thing where you can have like
Hmm.
Street Fighter cards and all kinds of stuff. But anyways, I opened it last night and there's so much in that game that I'm looking at and I'm like, why aren't other games doing this? And it's a
Hmm.
lot of stuff that like Genesis is doing. You open the box, it comes with a box topper in it. All kinds of cool foil cards in it. The other thing I really liked was as I'm opening packs, I'm getting cards that are like an XR rarity versus like an ultra rare rarity.
Hmm.
It's like extra rare versus ultra rare. The only difference is the artwork and the foil. So like you get some cards where you have like either a regular card, a foil card, ultra rare foiling, or extra rare foiling.
Hmm.
You can have the extra rare card that I pulled last night that's worth like $50.
Okay.
Right next to the normal one, it was 30 cents. I love that. Like
Yes.
if I wanted that card and my buddy had it, but I don't have the money to spend $50, I can go on
Correct.
TCG Player and get it. Or it was just a common like the rarity is tied to the foiling, not tied to necessarily the card itself. There is still rare, ultra rare, but the extra rares can be a special foiling of any card in the set. So
Correct.
although you have common, uncommon, rare, ultra rare, the foiling is what makes all those cards really special. And that's how I feel like Genesis is doing it. Like promo cards, old cards, all that stuff is going to hold a premium over cards printed now if it's the same card. Like if they reprint Vampire's Kiss in Origins, which I
Uh-huh.
think Sid said they might be, if they reprint Vampire's Kiss, it's going to be worth a little bit, but it's not going to be worth as much as the beta one,
Correct.
because that's the classic artwork. That's the first printing of it. So I think you can have that price difference in the games where as long as everyone has access to the normal version of the card, that's the way it's genius. I mean, that's the way it should be.
Yes, and it minimizes doing proxies.
Oh yeah,
Because you can
for
you can
sure.
get the cheapest one, like
Yep.
30 cents,
Yep.
right?
You can still
And
play it. You don't have
by
to
the
have the
way,
best one.
I have a good news for you. If you've seen my latest video, I pulled a vampiric kiss with
Oh, nice.
a
Cool.
promo card. Because
Nice.
it's from the championship.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you're gonna yeah, I got it, and then the other one is I forget the name. Anyway, yeah.
So I opened two beta boxes of Genesis and I opened four of the two-player starter kits because I gave a lot of them away to people and I kept just the packs and gave the other
Hmm.
stuff away, so people could get into the game, like Joey from Decks and Drafts,
Yeah.
few other people. I sent them, one person I said, I'm gonna send you some Genesis cards. They said, sure. They got it in the mail. They go, what the hell's this? I said, Genesis cards. They were like, oh, I thought you were sending me a bunch of copies of the card Genesis from Fab. I was like, no, why would I do that? But they checked it out anyway. So like, I opened a lot of beta, and out of all that beta, I didn't get a single bolt shot. Now,
Mm.
Sid said the way the boxes were printed is if you open a box of beta, you end up with every card in the set. That's how the boxes were designed. I didn't get one. He was shocked by that. You know what he sent me in the mail a couple weeks ago? A bolt shot, a beta bolt shot, just for free. Sid's like, here you
Oh,
go.
man.
He's like, take this because you didn't have it as part of your set.
Uh-huh.
So like, I think I got, I don't know, I probably opened 6 Vampire's Kisses.
Wow.
No, 4 Vampire's Kisses, 2 Angel of Retribution, and
Mm.
1 bolt shot from what
Nice.
Sid gave me. But so some of those original cards, my point in saying that is they're really rare. Like some
Mm-hmm.
of the beta original cards are really hard to find. So
Nice. And now they are introducing the wrapper, which it is labeled, right? With
yes,
Genesis logo.
yep,
That is a game changer for Genesis. And I
yep,
really love that because, of course, it it takes away those fake ones. So,
yep.
and I'm not sure if they are going to put a security seal like the Metazoo.
That part I don't know about. Like MetaZoo has that. I'm not sure how much. Like personally, I don't know how much the
Mm-hmm.
security seal matters to me. It's mainly the shrink wrap has their logo on it, which just
Uh-huh.
looks good in general and makes it more official. The one thing I really pushed Sid on, and I probably pushed him a little too hard and bugged him about it. And then I made a YouTube comment where I was asking people, and it's the most community post, the most commented on community post and voted on that I've ever had. And that was, do you think in a Kickstarter TCG that it matters that the cards have some sort of logo on it to let you know that those cards are Kickstarter? And I think it was 98% of the people said yes. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason I thought it mattered was originally Sid said when you open up a Kickstarter box, the cards inside are just going to be regular Origins cards. They're not going to have any denotion
Mm-hmm.
saying that they're Kickstarter versions. So once you open up your Kickstarter box and then you open up another future Origins box,
Yep.
there would be no difference between those cards. I didn't like that idea. The reason I didn't like that idea was I think there's something to be said about getting in on the Kickstarter right away and showing how much you love the game and showing how much you pledged in the beginning. And when I open my binder and have all my cards, or I pull out a deck and they're all Kickstarter cards, that's going to want people to ask more questions and go, well, wait a minute, this game started as a Kickstarter?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how hard are those cards to get? That's going to give them like another thing to collect, another thing to
Yes.
want to invest in. And I think if you have that Kickstarter box, you're going to feel like you're going to be forced to keep it sealed if all it says on the outside of the box is Kickstarter,
Yes.
but the inside is the same as what everyone else gets. That to me would feel very bad.
Yep.
So I'm
Mm-hmm.
really glad that he announced that the cards inside are going to have it doesn't have to be the green Kickstarter logo. It can be whatever the hell you want.
Anything, anything.
Nostalgic's put
Mm.
Day Zero edition,
Yep.
and like whatever you do to just make sure that you know that those cards are different from the other cards, collectability wise, that's very important.
There's a distinction within those cards.
Yeah.
That will be good. And also, the good thing is that the box is recyclable. All right.
Yes.
And the the wrap, uh, when you
Yeah.
open
The
up the
wrappers.
packs, the wrappers
Yep.
are now recyclable. It
The
can be
cards are
recycled.
recyclable, which is awesome.
Yeah, and you can replace, you can send it to your LGS and your LGS will give you a promo.
Yep.
Right? Man,
So cool.
so cool. I think this is the first time in TCG
Yeah,
industries that
someone said
doing
that there
this.
was like one other game that had
One?
done
Okay.
something like this before. And I know my
Mm-hmm.
packs last night when I opened up My Hero Academia, I couldn't find anything online about it, which is funny.
Mm-hmm.
But on the back of the pack, it said recyclable, redeemable. And it had a little picture of a
Oh,
skull,
okay.
almost like something you cut out and you could save them.
Yep.
But my daughter is like obsessed with throwing all the trash away in the house. So she went and gathered everything and threw it away. And I
Oh
was like,
man.
oh, I was going to save those packs to see what you could do with them. But the bad thing is, I went to their website and I couldn't find anything online about how to do it. So I'm sure Genesis is going to have that covered on their website about, the whole program once it comes out. But I think it's something people have talked about before, but this is the first time I've ever seen someone at a Kickstarter level make that like a
Yeah.
reward. Like, we are actively going to figure out how to do this now that we have the money to figure out the process.
Yes, and I don't throw my wrappers. I keep them here.
Yeah.
I keep them. I don't know why, but I just like to have those wrappers, and probably I will make a wall out of it.
Wrapper wall.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a good one, and you can just go to the LGS, place with a promo, and if you have 500 bulk cards, you can replace it with a promo as well.
Yeah, which is awesome. Because I have a lot of bulk, and like most of the bulk I have, I give away for free.
Mm-hmm.
Will put a post on Discord or just message people. Like I've probably given 3 or 4 thousand cards to Joey to
Wow.
make decks with for his
Okay.
community in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
But like anytime I have Flesh and Blood or Genesis or whatever leftover cards, I'm very much a minimalist. If it's something I feel like I'm not going to use or can't use,
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it away for free as long as you pay the shipping, just so
Uh-huh.
you can learn the game. So I actually, in this video, I open that up to anyone right now. If you're interested in Flesh and Blood, you're interested in Genesis,
Mm-hmm.
leave a comment on this video or on Ben's video, to reach out to me, and I will send you cards. You just got to pay the shipping, to give you some cards to at least get into the game and see what it's all about. That's how much bulk I have. So.
Wow. Nice, 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 nice. And wow. I'm so excited with this one with I think this is also the same contents with the Gelara second edition, which is 2 rares, 4 uncommons, eight
Yeah,
commons, 1 starter card. I guess just the same, right?
double rare
Can't
packs
remember.
with a chance of one of them. Is it a chance of one of them being
One on
uh
in every 7 packs will have an epic.
so
And
does that
one in every
epic
17.
replace a rare, or is that a third slot? I don't remember how it worked.
I think and I don't
I
know.
think the epic replaces the token. I think the token
Oh
slot
yeah, because it
is
doesn't have
replaced
any
with an
tokens anymore.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I think an epic has a chance of replacing the token in Jlara too. I'm not sure how Origins is going to work.
and this is the first time that they will have a foil epic, right?
Yeah. And the print quality, the card stock is going to be pretty much from what Sid told me. He told me not to go into detail about it, but when we talked, there was a few things I can say. The card stock is going to be pretty much the best card stock you can get for a TCG.
Mm-hmm.
The foiling sheets all came in. The foiling sheets were all messed up. He rejected them and said, we are
Yeah.
not using those. So now they understand what he wants for foiling. There is going to be someone from the Haunted Castle Gaming team that is going to be on site for every printing that happens. So if that is a person that's going to be
Wow.
in town for a week, staying in a hotel, and 12 hours a day they're at the print shop, that's what's going to happen. There's going to be a quality control person there. As far as the cutting goes, that's going to be all improved, and a big part of that is with the card stock improving, the cutting can be improved too. Heavier the card stock, the cleaner the cuts.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be a lot of things quality control wise that he really wants to make sure that these cards are incredible. I opened, like I said, that My Hero Academia last night. That was the best card quality I've ever seen in any TCG
Mm-hmm.
ever. I
It is
mean, it was like
is it
Japanese. It
Japanese?
was it was thick, it was bright, it was
Wow.
not easily damaged. I put the cards side by side. You could Everything was cut perfect. You couldn't see any variations anywhere. It looked like complete duplicate
Wow.
cards throughout. I mean, everything was perfect. So that, from what I understand, is the card quality that Sid is going for. Now, don't hold me to that, because anyone who's watching this is just what Sid has told me. And like I said, I can't elaborate any more on it, but that's what he's going for. That's his goal. He doesn't. A lot of people were like, "Well, you need to change the printer." He's like, "Listen, I'm not going to do that. We've worked with this printer forever. I don't think it's the
Correct.
printer that's the problem. It was the paper. It was the foiling.
Yeah.
It was the quality assurance of not having someone there. So if anything, I think they were taking the failure on themselves and not the printer. And they're saying, listen, we want to make this better. So this is the plan going forward."
Yeah, and I heard that I think it's a Patreon video or something or a public video, and he said that they don't want to change a printer because it's another learning curve. You
Oh,
know,
for sure.
yeah. And
Yep.
the good thing is, I think this one will have a thicker paper.
Yep.
That's what I remember. It's 320 GSM, something like
Yeah, it's
that.
double the thickness as whatever they used before, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and the box topper will contain 3 cards. Man,
Oh, I
three
love this
cards.
box stopper thing.
And it says here Kickstarter exclusives Electrical Storm alternate art promo. An
Yep.
epic rare from Origins in foil, a second random foil epic rare, a signed card from Origins, a sample card from Origins, or a pre-alpha card. Wow, man.
Yeah. People don't understand. So I have two pre-alpha. Let me rephrase this. I had two pre-alpha cards. I sold one. I have one that Sid gave me accidentally. And then I have one that I bought early on when I was just buying like random cards from Dragon's World and a few other
Mm-hmm.
places. I didn't pay that much for it, but I had someone offer me $800 for it. And at the time, Tales of Aria came out. I had some
Yep.
other things I wanted to invest in. So I said, sure, I'll sell you that card. Um, it's the same person that won the, I won't give his name because I think he has to keep it secret, but not really secret, but didn't want to make a big deal out of it.
Mm-hmm.
He was also the person that won the Alpha Genesis box in the auction. So this is someone who spends, I would say they're a whale for sure in the Genesis community. Probably the Genesis community's first whale. This guy is spending a lot of money on Genesis cards. So these Alpha cards and the whole box stopper thing is definitely a collectible investment type of slot for people. And I think that's important because these pre-alpha cards are going to be worth a lot of money if you get one.
Yes, and not just okay, let's go to the pre-alpha cards. Yes, we understand that it's sought after, but
Yep.
people are not realizing that all the first editions have low print runs. You know,
Super low print runs. Yeah.
600, about 600 plus boxes of beta.
Yep.
Welcome to Raise and welcome to Gelara and Raise.
Yep.
And 600 is just 14,000 packs,
Yeah.
right?
And alpha was like what, 30 or
Alpha
40
is 30,
boxes?
31, 37,
Yeah.
something like that.
And I know
Less than
four
40.
people who have sealed boxes, and I think those are the last four
Man.
sealed boxes that probably exist. I mean,
Yeah.
I think Sid said they have one, his brother has one, this whale guy I was talking about has one,
Uh-huh.
and then Steve-O
Sid.
has one.
Sid.
So that's like
The
four.
the winner. The winner of the
Oh, does
Alpha.
he have one?
Yeah, that's the price of
That was the prize. Okay.
Yep.
So there's five out of 31 right now that we know exist for sure sealed. That means there's only 26 boxes left that probably were all opened when the game first came out because people needed cards to play.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right, Ben. They are
There will be
incredibly small.
27 27 were opened, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And 600 for I think the print run of Origins will be more than the whole in
Yeah.
total of all the first editions, like beta to raise, you know?
Oh yeah, it'll be definitely more. I mean, because
So
there's no limit, right? On the he's gonna there's a certain amount of spots that are limited, but as far as adding on Kickstarter boxes, I'm pretty sure Sid said there wasn't a limit, right? You could add
yeah.
on 100 boxes if you
So
wanted.
I'm disclosing this here right now because yesterday I was buying betas and welcome to Jalara singles, you know, because man, there's just I don't know, they haven't realized yet, but I'm
No,
sure once after they see this, maybe Dragon World will be busy packing their singles now.
well, like I said, I opened two beta boxes, so I have all those cards left. Um, I opened two Welcome to J Lara. I don't have like any sealed product except I have a box of Nightfall and a spell book that are
Hmm.
sealed. Everything else, oh, and some Ira decks. Everything else I usually open. But I opened two Welcome to J Lara. I opened like six J2 boxes. I opened two Rays and the two
Hmm.
beta and then the two-player starter kit. So singles wise, I got so many friggin' rares and epics from the early sets that like I feel like I'm in a good position singles wise to, you know, if I ever wanted to cash in on something, I could. But I'm a collector first, and
Yeah, yeah,
casual player. So if something jumps in price, I'm not going to pass it up because I know I can reinvest that into my hobby. But
yeah.
other than that, like I'm never getting rid of. I don't think you can see it back here, but I have that foil J2 sheet, uncut
Mm-hmm.
sheet that Sid sent me, and
Yeah, yeah. I really love that, man.
yeah, so I have that framed on the wall back there, and like I'll never get rid of that. Like there's just some stuff I won't get rid of because it's special to me, or stuff people have given me. But yeah, otherwise, if it's something that jumps up in price, I feel like I'd be an idiot to pass it up.
Yeah. Yeah, and I haven't shown you the video. I haven't uploaded it yet. And I let all as far as I can, I let them sign my uncut sheet during the championship.
Nice,
Assad,
awesome.
the designers, man,
That's
I
so
gotta show
cool.
that. So
Yeah.
next time you're gonna go to the championship, right?
Oh God, for sure,
Yeah,
for
and
sure,
and
man.
lastly, man, the 250,000 stretch goal was reached, and
Yep.
this will be all backers get one Kickstarter alternate art of tsunami done by Halil Ural or
I know.
Ural
I'm
or Ural.
super excited about that. I'm
And
super
this
excited about that.
Halil Ural is he has done works with the Legends of Five Rings, Pathfinder, Star Wars, the board game, and Magic the Gathering,
Oh yeah.
Argotoria, etc. So we're gonna have a very beautiful artwork right
Yep.
here.
Yep.
Yeah, see? So guys, well, we're gonna invite them. Don't sleep on this product. You, if you haven't backed it yet, go ahead, go to the Kickstarter, find Genesis Battle of Champions, and back this project.
Yeah, I'll put a link in the description of my video, Ben. I'm sure you'll
Yeah,
do the
me
same.
too. Yeah,
That way people can just click on it and go. And I
yeah.
also, not to plug myself, but I did a video that a lot of people have found really helpful, which is what tier is right for you,
Okay.
the Genesis Kickstarter. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason I did that was I had so many questions, people reaching out to me, that were like, I don't even know where to begin. I don't know what to pledge. I want to try the game, but I also want to keep some stuff sealed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was a really helpful breakdown of, what people can expect when they pledge, what they're going to get. So yeah, make sure you check that out too. And Ben's got a ton of videos on all the Genesis Kickstarter stuff too. You've been my go-to news source for all that stuff while I was sick because
Yeah.
I didn't really have time to go through and make a lot of videos of my own, but I was
Mm-hmm.
relying on watching your videos to get my Genesis news. So if you're not subscribed to Ben too, make sure you subscribe. Especially if you're not a part of his Patreon, sign up for that because that's not helping Ben, that's helping people in the Philippines, correct?
Yes.
That are getting food packs. You're actually helping people in other countries. Um, I had stopped all my Patreon backer rewards for a little bit while I figured some stuff out, and I was able to re-sign back up to
Mm-hmm.
Ben's and a few other people that I wanted to back. But Ben's is really important to me, and I use, I let my patrons know that the money that they're sending me each month, part of that is going to Ben. So
Mm-hmm.
by
Thank
backing
you.
me, you're backing Ben. By backing Ben, he's backing people in the Philippines. And if I get more backers, then I will up my uh, Patreon thing to you up to, I think it's like $20 is the,
Yeah,
what's the
for
one that
a family pack, you can buy $10 for one family. You can have like a pack of food, and I put it dry goods because it they don't have refrigerators,
yeah,
so everything there are dry. And in this Christmas season, I will gonna put a toy for if they have kids.
nice,
Yeah, because
nice.
I feel that I have
Oh
don't have
yeah,
any toy when I was young, so
yep.
I will put a toy and then I will put a Christmas. We call it Noche Buena. So Noche Buena is the 24th, uh, the midnight of 24th.
Okay,
Okay. And you will cook something for the family gathering. And you will eat. That is Noche Buena. So I will put a dry spaghetti, spaghetti pasta.
okay, yeah,
Then yeah, because we love spaghetti in Philippines, so we put
awesome.
yeah we put that and then the ham. I don't want to put like a ham because it might spoil
Sure.
because it's not
Yeah, best to
dry.
do the dry goods and stuff
So
like
I'll
that
just
for
put
sure.
some sauce, something like that. So that's my plan for this December. So
Cool.
if you want to back my family pack, you can go to the patreon.com/Ben Trading Cards.
Yeah,
So
so I will stay supporting you
yeah,
as long as, I can, and I don't
yeah,
foresee
thank
that
you.
changing in the future. And like I said, if anyone is supporting me and Ben, know that your money, a lot of your money from me is going to go to Ben, because up to a certain point, I don't feel right just getting like free money from Patreon. So I want to give a lot of that back.
Mhm.
I'm in a
And
position where a lot of my stuff is already paid for and I don't need new equipment or anything like that. So the money's used to either help other Patreon members, or, other content creators, or it's used for, like, if someone's like, oh, I want you to try this, check this product out on the channel, then I'll use some of that money for that. But other than that, it's I want to try to give as much as possible to Ben. So
yeah, and before that, I was supporting some students in Philippines because
yeah,
COVID. There's no physical school right now, no physical class, so I can't support them yet. But in
yeah,
the next few years, I'm gonna support them with. I hope I can get a good fund that I can support one student at least for college, because
yeah,
yeah, and if he wants an IT, because I want to support IT people, and it earns a lot. So
yeah, that's
that's
awesome.
that's my plan, and I guess yeah, we're already at 1 hour and plus, and
Yeah, I know it went
Jordan,
by fast.
thank you so much, man.
Hey, thank you so
Thank you
much. I'm
for
really glad we were able to talk again.
yeah, thank you for supporting my Patreon, and
For sure.
guys, watch the Scheming Skeleton. And
Thank
this
you.
this channel is the opposite of Ben. Ben is making videos every day, but the video is not that the thumbnail is not that good.
Don't sell
But
yourself short. You're
but
doing, everyone does their own
if
great
you
thing, man.
see Scheming Skeleton, man, the quality,
Well,
the
I
sound, the
appreciate it.
music, the intro, man, I really love that. But
Well, it
it's
is a
not
little
me.
unfair
It's
because
not
I have
me.
a graphic design degree and I
Oh,
have
see?
a lot of spare time because
Wow.
I'm in the IT field too. So I have a lot of downtime while I'm waiting for calls to come in and stuff, where I'll sit down on my lunch break or in my spare time and be able to flesh things out a little more. And I'm
Uh-huh.
definitely very OCD and more of like a perfectionist than most people, but that
Mm.
means a lot to me. But don't sell yourself short, because the content you're doing too, it's those daily updates are important. Like, that gives me something to watch every morning. I think a lot of people enjoy
Yeah,
that.
mine
So
is quantity and Jordan is quality.
no,
So it's like
yours is quantity and quality, Ben. You
okay,
do good
thank you so
thumbnails
much.
too.
Thank you
I
so
like
much.
it.
So,
So
all right, Jordan. So, thank you so much for this. And guys, don't forget to back the Kickstarter, Genesis Battle of Champions. All right.
awesome. Thanks, Ben.
See you guys.
Yep.
See you,
Take
Jordan.
care.